It was 1994, so the FM station went on in 44.
So for the FM station's 50th birthday, thank you for correcting that. And that's the music that we heard a little of as you were walking out here. And so here she is joining us for our 100th birthday as well in a second. John, just tell us how the worlds of WNYC and Laurie Anderson have intersected historically. Well, here she comes, so come on, folks.
John.
So, John, talk a little bit as I back away about how WNYC and Laurie Anderson have intersected historically.
Okay, so September 1982, I start my show New Sounds. I'd been there for a year or so. I started New Sounds September 3rd, 1982, basically playing my own record collection. And someone from BAM called me in December and said, we have Laurie Anderson doing her big United States thing, 2-night show, multimedia. Would you like to have her for an interview? And I thought, well, yeah. And so in January of 1983, we aired our first interview on New Sounds, and it was with Laurie. And United States, Laurie, is not just ancient history anymore. You're working on, it was a 4-part piece over 2 nights. You are now working on what is essentially a 5th part called The Ark. What does that refer to?
That's a ship that's going to save us. So, it's just what we're going to do with things. It's kind of a retelling of the story of Ark. It's called United States 5.
And this is something that comes on the heels of your new record called Amelia, about the final flight of Amelia Earhart. And if you missed our program about that, you can find it online at newsounds.org. It's a wonderful record, and Laurie has a great story to tell about the making of it and all the research and stuff that went into it. When you do a project like that, do you do a lot of research normally?
Yeah, I had to kind of think about what it would be like to fly around the world and why she would do that also. That was part of what I was thinking of. But also, I just found out she left a lot of things around because she married her press agent. That's one thing you should know about her. So she was the first blogger. She was writing constantly about where she was landing and what she was doing and her flight. It was really, I'm just in love with this person. She was amazing.
Well, we have been fans of yours for 40 plus years now, and you've been a great friend.
You need to update your shirt. This is Schaefer 30, but he's been there longer than that.
This edition of the shirt was done for my 30th anniversary at WNYC, at which Laurie Anderson performed. And one of my favorite photos of my time at WNYC is the Green Space crew. They all had these shirts, and at the end of the evening, they all stood with their backs to the camera wearing these Schaefer 30 shirts. And it's just a wonderful little photo. And you'll see a lot of those, they're the ones wearing the white overalls that have been hitting you with swag during the course of the evening. Yes, an applause for the staff of the Green Space. Sex Mob.
There they are, Sex Mob.
You have done, you've toured with them. Maybe we get to hear a little recording of you with them in the not too distant future. Stephen Bernstein is one of New York's, I was going to say hidden treasures. He's not so hidden, he's been around forever. He's an amazing arranger. And the band is like, just this kind of killer lineup of musicians.
Doug Weasel, Tony Scher, Kenny Wilson, Rick and Krause. They're the best.
And so you're going to do a couple of songs. One is one of your own songs, and the other is from a different project, and I'm not going to say anything about it. But here is Laurie Anderson with Sex Mob live.
Lately, with the elections coming up, there's so many experts who are analyzing what's going to happen and, you know, what it means. And I'm thinking of all the thought leaders, the influencers, the consultants, and of course, the political pundits, the experts who know what's real and what's just another really bizarre story. Now, only an expert can deal with the problem, because half the problem is seeing the problem. And only an expert can deal with the problem. Only an expert can deal with the problem. So if there's no expert dealing with the problem, it's really actually twice the problem. Because only an expert can deal with the problem. Only an expert can deal with the problem. Now in America, we like solutions. We like solutions to problems. And there's so many companies that offer solutions. Companies with things like the pet solution, the hair solution, the debt solution, the world solution, the sushi solution. Companies with experts ready to solve these problems. Because only an expert can see there's a problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem. Only an expert can deal with the problem. And then there are the experts who say the problem with America is democracy. Just too many of the wrong kind of people making the decisions. And these experts say, what we need here is a dictator. Someone who can take control. Someone who can get to the heart of the problem. Solve the problems. Make things efficient. Maybe with a new commission. Without all that voting. But don't forget, this has nothing to do with like 60% of the US population who are barely getting by. Who are 1.3 weeks away, 1.3 paychecks away from shelter. In other words, people with problems. So when experts say, let's get to the root of the problem, let's take control of the problem. So if you can take control of the problem, you can solve the problem. Now often this doesn't work at all because the situation is completely out of control. Only an expert can deal with the problem. Only an expert can deal with the problem. Only an expert can deal with the problem. And sometimes, if it's really, really hot, and it's July and January, and there's no more snow and huge waves are wiping out cities, and hurricanes are everywhere. Everyone knows it's a problem. But if some experts say it's no problem, and other experts claim it's no problem, and explain why it's no problem, then it's simply not a problem. And even though a country can invade another country and flatten it and ruin it and create civil war in that other country, but the experts say it's not a problem. Everyone agrees they're experts and good at solving problems. Then invading that country is simply not a problem. And if a country tortures people and holds citizens without cause or trial and sets up military tribunals, this is also not a problem, unless there's an expert who says this is the beginning of a problem.